single envelope, which shall also be signed and properly marked accordingly. Next. Shown is the sample format for labeling for technical components. For financial components. In the ceiling of the technical components. For financial component. In the sealing and marking of main envelope, please take note that envelope shall be sealed and signed. For the procurement of goods, if the eligibility requirements or statements, the bids and all other documents for submission to the SBAC are in foreign language other than English, it must be accompanied by a translation in English, which shall be authenticated by the appropriate Philippine Foreign Service establishment, post or the equivalent office having jurisdiction over the foreign bidders, appears in the Philippines. Similar to the required authentication above for contracting parties to the Apostille Convention, only the translated documents shall be authenticated to the Apostille pursuant to GPPB Resolution Number 13-2019, dated 23 May 2019. The English translation shall govern for the purposes of interpretation of the bid. Next. Shown are the requirements for goods. Tab A, valid PhilGIPS registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages in accordance with the section 8.5.2 of IRR. Please take note that in lieu of the Class A eligibility documents mentioned under section 8.5.2 of the IRR of the RA 9184, the bidder shall only submit a valid and updated PhilGIPS certificate of registration and membership in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the said IRR for purposes of determining eligibility. Next. The merchant's failure to maintain its records, current and updated, shall result in the automatic suspension of the validity of its certificate of registration and membership in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the 2016 revised IRR of the RA 9184 until such time that the records have been updated, notwithstanding the fact that 1 year validity of the certificate of memberships has not yet expired. Next. The certificate of registration and membership shall contain the following caveat to reflect that through the submission of said certificate, the bidder certifies A, the authenticity, genuineness of validity and completeness of the copy of the original eligibility documents submitted. B, the veracity of the statement and information contained therein. C, that the certificate is not guarantee that the name registrant will be declared eligible without first being determined to be such for that particular bidding, nor it is evidence that the same has passed the post-qualification. B, that any findings of concealment, falsification, or misrepresentation of any of the eligibility documents submitted or the contents thereof shall be a ground for disqualification of the bidder from further participation in a bidding process without prejudice to the imposition of the appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal penalty in accordance with the law. Next. For the purpose of updating the certificate of registration and membership, all Class A eligibility documents mentioned supporting the veracity, authenticity of and validity of the certificate shall remain current and updated. The failure by the prospective bidder to update its certificate with the current and updated Class A eligibility documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the validity of its certificate until such time that all expired Class A eligibility documents has been updated. A recently expired mayor's permit, together with the official receipt as proof that the prospective bidder has applied for renewal in the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, shall be accepted by the PhilJeps for the purpose of updating the PhilJeps certificate of registration and membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the IRR. Next. Shown is the new format of the first page of the PhilJeps certificate of platinum registration and membership. Next. For tab B, shown is the new format of first page of the PhilJeps certificate of platinum registration and membership. For tab B, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature or complexity to the contract to be bid. For tab C, statement of bidder's single largest completed contract, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for its section 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents. Next. For tab D, original copy of bid security, if in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid security declaration. For tab E, conformity with the technical certifications, which may include production, delivery schedule, manpower requirements, or after sales parts, if applicable, supplemental bid blueprint, if any. For tab F, original duly signed of the most sworn statement, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Next. For tab G, the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or a committed line of credit from Universal or Commercial Bank in lieu of its NFCC computations. For tab H, if applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into abide by the provision of joint venture agreement in the instance that the bid is successful. For tab I, for foreign bidders claiming by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in government procurement activities for the same items or product. And lastly, for tab J, certification from DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. Next. For the financial components, the documents to be submitted are shown. For tab A, original of the duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. And tab A, original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules in its electronic copy in MS Excel format, saved in USB flash drive. Please take note that the bid tender per line item shall not exceed the ABC per line item as indicated in the price schedules and bidding documents. Next. For the price schedules, the bidder shall fill in rights and prices for all items. Bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, price of schedules shall be considered a non-responsive, thus automatically disqualified. In this regards, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a 0 or a dash for the said item would mean that it's being offered for free to the government. Next. Reminder for technical and financial forms. Forms that need to be filled up by the bidders, please make sure to use the latest format in Appendix 1 in the 6th edition of the bidding documents. Next. Moving on to the eligibility checks and screening procedures, bidders may submit their sealed in bids through their authorized managing officers or duly authorized representatives. Please take note that late bids will be rejected. During the opening of the technical requirements, the SBAC will check for the completeness of the documents submitted. Submission of incomplete or patently insufficient document or non-submission of the required documents will be rated failed. Only bidders whose envelopes were rated pass shall be considered for evaluation. Next. The SBAC shall determine if each prospective bidder is eligible to participate in the bidding by examining the completeness of each prospective bidder's technical requirements or statements against a checklist of requirements using a non-discriminatory pass or fail criteria. If a prospective bidder submits the specific eligibility or technical documents required, it shall be rated pass. On the other hand, failure to submit a requirements or submission of an incomplete or patently insufficient document shall be considered failed for the particular requirements concerned. Next. During opening of bids, questions asked for or raised by the SBAC chairman or any member of the Special Bids Awards Committee shall be addressed only by the end user, the legal member or any other member of the committee. Answers given thereof shall be respected by the proponents, and any protest arising therefrom shall be filed through the procedures prescribed in RA 9184 and shall not in any way stay or delay the bidding process. Next. Those found ineligible in bidding have 3 calendar days upon receipt of written notice or if present at the time of bid opening upon verbal notification within which the filed a request for a reconsideration with the SBAC. The SBAC will then decide on the request for the consideration within 7 calendar days from the receipt thereof. The SBAC shall not be allowed to receive, hold, or open the bids of an eligible bidder. However, if an ineligible prospective bidder signifies his intent to file a motion for reconsideration, the SBAC shall hold the documents of said bidder until such time the motion for reconsideration has been dissolved. Next. Lastly, the SBAC reserves the right to review its qualifications at any stage of the procurement process. Should such review uncover any misrepresentation within the technical requirements, statements, or documents, or any changes in the interpretation of the prospective bidder, to undertake the project so that it fails the present criteria, the SBAC shall consider the prospective bidder as failed and shall disqualify it from submitting a bid or from obtaining an awards or contract, all of which are in accordance with the implementing rules and regulation of RA 9184. Request for clarification on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the SBAC at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids or until 06 March 2023. We also would like to remind everyone that supplier must deliver the goods or perform the services procured in period prescribed by the procuring entity as specified in the contract. If delays are likely to be incurred, the suppliers must notify the procurement entity in writing stating the cost and duration of the expected delay. The procuring entity may grant time extension at its discretion if based on the meritorious grounds within or without liquidated damages. In all cases, the request for extension should be submitted before the lapse of the original delivery date. The maximum allowable extension shall not be longer than the initial delivery period, as it stated in the original contract. Next. Not unless there are questions. That ends the briefing. Once again, thank you and good day.
Thank you, Technical Working Group, Secretary, for the admin briefing. Are there any questions regarding the admin briefing? Mr. Secretary, kindly facilitate if there are questions from the proponent.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Thank you, Technical Working Group Secretary. Any questions po sa mga proponents natin for the presented admin briefing?
Sir, may tanong po ako. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Kindly indicate your company and name.
Sig Ocean Enterprises, sir.
Yes, sir. Anong concern po?
Ang concern ko, sir, mayroon ba tayong sapat na storage pag dineliver yung mga materyales?
Sir, regarding sa questions para sa project, i-entertain na lang natin after the presentation of the bidding documents. For now, sir, yung mga questions lang regarding dito sa presented na admin briefing.
Okay, sir. Sige. Sige po, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Ay, isa pa, sir.
Yes, sir.
With the requirements, sir, doon sa yung anong kailangan na, ilang percent yung SLCC natin, sir? Based to sa ABC natin para ma-qualify. 25% ba po? O 50%?
Sir, regarding sa SLCC, doon din po yan, sir, sa bidding documents mamaya mapipresent.
Okay, sige. Okay.
Regarding po dito sa admin briefing lang po, sir, yung questions natin for now.
Sige, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Other proponents, may questions po tayo regarding dito sa admin briefing? Hearing none, Mr. Vice Chair, may I request for procedure?
Okay, Mr. Secretary, let us proceed with the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. A couple of reminders, sir, during the VTC for our proponents. Attendees should turn off their microphones at all times during the VTC unless they intend to speak. Proponents should state their names and the company they represent before asking for questions and clarifications for recording purposes. Attendees should turn on their cameras while speaking. At this point, Mr. Vice Chair, may I request the presenter from the end user or technical working group to present the bidding documents for the project. Questions and clarifications regarding the project will be entertained after the presentation of the end user or the technical working group.
Thank you, sir. To our Vice Chairperson, Sir Colonel Pio Gomez, sir, and all members of the board and suppliers, sirs and ma'am, good morning. Shown is the bidding document for the procurement of materials and other structures with identification number PB PAFSBAC 001-23. This project has an approved contract budget of 10,426,865 pesos with 25,000 as price of bid documents. So the issuance of bid documents is on February 23 to March 15, 2023. Next. For the instruction to bidders, the procuring entity, the Philippine Air Force, would like to receive bids for the procurement of materials and other structures with identification number PB PAFSBAC 0-001-23 with an approved contract budget of 10,426,865 pesos with NGA, the General Appropriations Act, as the source of bidding. So the bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, which is equivalent to at least 25% of the ABC. And we would also like to inform the bidders that the subcontracting is not allowed, and procuring entity will hold a pre-bid conference for this project on the specified date and time through VTC as indicated in paragraph 7 of IB. So the bidders SLCC, as indicated in ITB Clause 5.3, should have been completed within 5 years prior to the deadline of the submission and receipt of bids. And payment of the contract price shall be made sorry for the delay, sirs. And to continue, the bid and security shall be valid until July 14, 2023, and not accompanied by an acceptable bid security shall be rejected by the procuring entity as non-responsive. For the bid data sheet, this is a supply and delivery of construction supplies and materials and should be completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and shall not exceed the ABC per line item as indicated in the price schedules. The bid security shall be in the form of bid securing declarations or could not be less than 2% of the ABC or 208,537.3 if bid security is in cash or cash manager's check, bank draft, guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, while 521,343 or not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is in surety bond. So the project is a single lot with an ABC of, once again, 10,426,865 pesos. So these are the additional post-qualification requirements. The copy of registration certificate from SEC and DTI or Cooperative Development Authority or its equivalent document. Next will be the copy of mayor's or business permit, copy of tax clearance, and the supplier's audited financial statement showing, among others, the supplier's total and current assets and liabilities stamp received by the BIR, which is duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. Next is the certificate of notarial commission of the lawyer who notarized the bidding. And there are additional contract documents, which are the procurement request or bidding request, the invitation to bid, minutes of conference, supplemental bid bulletin, if there are any, accomplished checklist of requirements, abstract of bids, additional post-qual requirements, post-qualification report, PAFSBAC resolution, and if we have foreign suppliers, they should pass the following apostille documents and shall be submitted within 10 calendar days from NTP together with the request of opening of irrevocable letter of credit, which has a certification of residency issued by the tax authority of the country of the foreign supplier and special power of attorney authorizing the PAF authorized representative to file the tax treaty relief application. For the special conditions of contract, the goods supplied both from abroad and Philippines will be delivered at AIBDC 520 Air Base Group 521st Supply Squadron, Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base, Pasay City, while the procuring entity's representative at the project site is the commander AIBDC or his representative. Next, please. So all items shall be compliant with the DPWH Blue Book, ASTM, or NSCP. And the delivery of items shall be made from Monday to Sunday, including holidays. Supplier shall inform the personnel of PAF-BC and the end user at least 3 days prior to the delivery of items. The supplier or his representative must be present during delivery, and they will also be responsible for the unloading of items. Others are as shown in the documents, sirs and ma'am. For the terms of payment, it will be advised to debit account, and as shown is the submission of the following documents. The following documents should be submitted as well. So partial delivery and partial acceptance are allowed. However, payment shall be made upon complete delivery and issuance of certificate of technical inspection and acceptance. So all pack items must be opened during visual inspection, and supplier's warranty shall be for a period of 3 months. And yung 3 months warranty period will be told upon receipt. And the obligation for the warranty shall be covered by, at the supplier's option, either 5% of every progress payment or a special bank guarantee equivalent to at least 5% of the total contract price. So if the proponent fails to correct or replace the defective items within the period of mention above, the proponent shall be liable for a penalty equivalent to 1/10 of 1% of the cost of the item due for correction replacement for every day of delay until fulfillment of its undertaking. So the amount of penalty shall be brought, and as shown yung mangyayari po sa atin if there is delay, sirs. So as shown is the list of items for biddings, which is the schedule of requirements and the lists as well. Next is line item 345 will be delivered within 120 calendar days from the receipt of NT. Shown, sir. As shown is the technical specifications. And the price schedule for goods offered within the Philippines, as shown as well. Which is a total amount of, once again, 10,426,865 pesos. And that is all, sirs, ma'am, for the presentation of the bidding documents for the procurement of materials of other structures with identification number PB PAFS BAG 001-20.
Thank you, DL 520. To the proponents, we are now ready to entertain questions and queries regarding the presented project.
Sir, I would like to answer po yung question kanina nung isa nating proponent regarding this lalagyan, sir, nung mga supplies na dadalhin. Sir, for
Yes, please.
info, sir, meron naman po tayo dito, sir.
Okay po, ma'am. Thank you, thank you.
Sorry, regarding naman dun sa question kanina regarding SLCC, ito po sir, 25% of the ABC. At least 25% of the ABC.
Okay, sir. Confirm. Noted po, noted po. Salamat.
Thank you, sir. From MZR Builders, ano pong query nila, sir?
Hello, sir. Good morning po. Engineer Kiros po, MCR Builders.
Go ahead po, sir.
Yeah, pwede po malaman, sir, kung saan niyo po gagamitin ang mga materialis na to? Do you have a project na tawag dito? Paggagamitan po?
DL, please.
Yes, sir. We have a list of projects, sir, na paggagamitan po ng mga projects natin such as repair. Mostly, sir, repairs, sir. Ito, sir, ng mga iba't ibang quarters dito inside CJ Fab, sir.
I see. So with that, hindi po kaya posible magka-problema na baka pag mag-deliver kasi dahil for the ongoing repairs nyo, magkulangan kayo ng espasyo or yung timing ng delivery, baka hindi tanggapin, no? I'm trying to cite our example with your Florida Blanca, yung sa Basa Air Base. Meron po kayo kasi mga deliver doon dahil ongoing yung project. There were situations where pag magde-deliver na kami, ayaw nilang ipa-deliver or pinipili nila yung mga dapat i-deliver kasi may ongoing pa sila at di pa na-consume yung mga naunang deliveries. Hindi po kaya posibleng maging problema rin to sa project na to?
Regarding that, sir, we will try our best para maubos lahat, sir, yung mga prior deliveries na i-deliver natin, sir.
Okay. So with regards to this, ang delivery po ba nito is wala kayong parang schedule na first month, second month, third month, o ganun, or first week, second week, third week? Pwede yung mag-deliver kami kung ano yung available kagad namin o kailangan may mga preference kayo na maunang mga items?
We will coordinate na lang, sir, with the engineering, especially puro construction materials ito, kung ano yung mga kakailanganin nilang mostly materials. Pero most likely, ang mangyayari is kung ano yung mga kakailanganin po nilang materials yung i-deliver natin.
Mas maganda po sana kung magkaroon kami ng ideya ng mga yan kasi in delivering these goods, mixture po kasi to eh. Hindi po pwedeng deliver mo, halimbawa, gravel tapos pako lang ang kasunod niya. So yung balancing, no, yung timing ng mga ilo-load sa truck to minimize the cost of the transportation. Lalo na may mga mabibigat po dito yung mga tiles, minsan di pwedeng i-match dun sa mga ibang mga materyales. So I think it will be for the best interest of Philippine Air Force na i-identify lahat ng mga mauna, yung mga priorities nila para po makapag-discarte yung mga bidders kung paano po ito isama sa costing nila kasi medyo mabigat din po kasi yung costing nito ng transport pag hindi ito inayos, no?
Yes, sir, noted on that po, sir, no?
Okay, thank you po. And the other question also, if I still may, no? Tama po ba intindi namin dito dun sa Section 3 bid data sheet nyo under ITB Clause 12 that the bid tender per line item shall not exceed the ABC per line item as indicated in the price schedules, or simply put it, dapat to hindi lalampas ang presyo namin sa kada item na ABC per item. Tama po ba?
Yes po, sir. Correct. Yung
Hello, sir,
bid offer niyo po, sir, hindi dapat mag-exceed doon sa provided na ABC per line item.
Per line item. Okay. Ang granting ko ba nito, is it per lot or per line?
Per line item po, sir.
A line item. Okay.
So, in effect, yung total niya, sir, mababa din siya kaysa sa ABC.
Did we get it right, sir? You mean we can quote that we have to quote for all of the items, tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, pero ang granting po
Line
ninyo ng award is per line or per the total quoted price?
Come again, sir?
Ang granting po ba nyo ng award is per line or total quoted price?
Total quoted price po, sir. As one lot po, sir, yung project. However, yung bid tender nyo po, sir, not exceed the ABC per line item doon sa bidding documents na.
I see. So parang lot siya, the whole items. We have to quote for all of them.
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
I see. Only that, dapat hindi kami lalampas sa unit price per item. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, salamat po.
Thank you, sir. Anything more?
Another, pwede pa po ba, sir?
Yes, sir. You may, sir.
Okay, napansin po namin kasi marami kayong items, 345 pieces to be exact, no? Now, pwede po ba kasi yung iba rito, number one, meron kayong mga kasi, dito yung bakal, meron din kayong mga kahoy. Yung kung tungkol sa tolerance, no? Kasi yung nakalagay po rito, for example, let me see, no? Ito pong angle bar. I think this is number 266. Ano, 268 angle bar hanggang mga 274. Yeah, may mga size po kasi kayo. Ayan, ano, angle bar. So ito, ang susundan po namin normally kasi let's say this 5 mm, normally thickness po to, no? This qualifies to sa equivalent niya in English scale is 1/4. So ito na po susundan namin, hindi na yung parang 1/4 siya ganon by 3 o by 2 by 1.5 ganon. Tama po ba? Parang ito na yung mismong sukat nyo. 5 mm, saka po 3 mm.
Yes, sir. Yan po yung sukat, sir.
Hindi na po pwedeng bumaba rito. Wala na pong tolerance. Ito na po yun. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir.
Yung pinili ko kasi yung sa BIGI. Hindi mo binigay sa akin. Schedule 20, schedule 40. This is very important kasi natin ganun.
Anything else? Meron pa po?
So, another pa po, sir, yung dito po sa GI pipe nyo, no, number 261, yung bandang itaas lang po, 261 to 265. Yung GI pipe, schedule 40. So, ang tanong po, sir, ganito po kasi, schedule 40, pwede pong ma-specify natin in detail anong equivalent ito in mm? Kasi may mga tinatawag po kasi ngayon mga commercial available na GI pipe and BI. Kung pwede pong malaman yung reference thickness nyo rito.
Sir, if I may interrupt po sa Secretariat. Sir, kung may mga gusto kayong mailagay ng mga specific na regarding sa technical specifications, paki-letter na lang po, sir, sa BAC Secretariat para ma-forward namin sa technical working group. And if ever, sir, na kailangan natin magdagdag ng specifications, we will issue a corresponding SBB, sir, para sa lahat ng para ma-post natin sa PhilJEP, sir, yung mga dagdag na mga request natin.
Okay. Tama po ba siya? Hindi ko, this is through written query.
Yes, sir. Written query regarding the project. Ipapa-evaluate po namin yun sa technical working group. If kailangan natin mag-issue ng SBB, we will
Okay.
issue SBB, sir, for corrections o
Yeah.
kung ano mga pwedeng idagdag.
Yeah, well taken, sir. So tama po ba, sir?
Secretary.
Hindi ko, the last day of written query is 10 days before kasi ng 16 minus
Yes, sir. March 6,
10,
sir.
6, March 6, tama
Yes,
po.
sir.
Which is
Secretary.
Monday, this coming Monday.
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair.
For initial answer to the questions of our proponent, sir, dalawa lang po naman yung GI pipe, schedule 20 and schedule 40. So normally yun na po ang available sa market po. Schedule 40 and schedule 20. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Anything else?
Yes, sir. Meron pa po, sir. Yung pong mga tungkol sa this, number 233 up to 241, 233 to 241.
Yes, sir. What about
Kaya kung
this?
pwede po, sir, makapag-request ng picture, if not actual samples, para po malinaw yung meron po tayong apple-to-apple reference or basis ng i-quote namin. General po kasi ito, baka meron pa yung specific designs in mind.
Paki-include na lang po, sir, sa letter niyo, sir.
Okay. Sige po. Salamat po.
Request niya ng verification.
Meron pa po dito.
Anything else?
Meron pa po, sir, if I may, they have, tungkol po dito, sir, sa ang tawag dito, yung pong numbers 26 to 40. (26 to 40).
Yes, sir. What about this, sir?
Yes, meron po ba kayong specific na 26 to 40 po, sir, no? 40. Yeah, may mga specific po ba kayong tawag dito or particular na kahoy na gusto gamitin? Will it be yakal, tangile, or whatever? And at the same time, kung ito na po ba yung sukat nyo? Kasi usually the market, hindi po siya saktong 2x2, no? Or 2x3. May mga tolerance po about 1/8 to 3/16 or 1/4 of an inch.
Technical working group, please. Though you may also include this in your letter, sir.
Okay, sa letter na lang po,
BL,
sir.
meron kayong
Sir, good morning again, sir. Regarding naman, sir, sa mga kahoy, as long as it qualify and maganda naman, sir, yung quality ng kahoy, kahit may, ano po yung sabi niyo, sir, may minsan nadadagdagan or nababawasan ng 1/8.
Mababawasan, sir. Tolerance
sir.
po. By about
It's-
1/8, gano'n, no?
Hindi ako, sir, sa kahoy pero as long as it can be used and maganda naman, sir, yung quality, I guess we can accept that, sir.
Okay, salamat po. Okay,
Thank
for
you.
other questions po, do we have the understanding na isulat na lang po namin para po mas masagot siya by way
Yes,
of
sir.
bid bulletin or bid supplement?
you may do, sir.
Okay.
Lahat po, sir, ng queries regarding specifically dito sa mga technical specifications, pati-include na po sa letter para isang pa-deliberate na lang tayo sa technical working.
Okay, salamat po, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Sa ating
Last one na lang po, sir, kung okay pa po. Tungkol po doon sa payment, sir, dito, you will be accepting partial deliveries, tama po ba?
ito po, sir, yung provision regarding delivery.
Payment shall be made upon complete delivery and acceptance of certificate of inspection. Okay. Sige, sir. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir. Any more?
Yun lang po, sir. Thank you.
From other proponents? Do you have queries, clarifications? Itanong na po natin yung mga gusto nating malaman. Ito yung proper venue para masagot ng technical working group yung mga questions natin. Para pagdating sa opening of bids, ma-prepare natin siya ng maayos yung mga bidding documents natin. Kung later nyo pa ma-review ng yung bidding documents, pwede nyo rin po i-letter sa secretariat. Kung wala pa kayong maisip for now, basta you submit it on or before March 6 para mapadeliberate pa natin sa technical working group. Okay, anything else?
Sir, meron pa po from MCR bidders again. Dito po sa may bid data sheet nyo, this is ITB clause 20.1 and 21.2.
Yes, sir. Stand by, sir. Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Okay na, wag na yan. Halika muna. Ito po, sir, yung additional, do we have the understanding when you say additional post-qualification requirements, This refers to tawag dito, after granting of the NOAA, tama po ba? So this need not be included in our submission of the bid documents in the opening, no? Tama po ba?
Actually, sir, hindi po siya after issuance of NOAA. Before, sir. Yung pupunta sir yung post-qual team, i-represent po to, sir.
Okay. No, what I mean is after determining kung sino po yung LCB.
Yes, sir. After the opening of bids.
I see. Pero hindi po kasama to sa submission. Tama po ba? Ng mga bidding documents.
Yung submission of bidding documents, sir, nandun siya sa checklist natin kung ano lang mga dapat i-include dun sa bidding documents natin.
Tama, sir. But this particular clause 20.1, hindi po, no? Hindi pa siya kasama. Tama, no? Hindi pa, no? Dito po, sir, sa 21.2, yung additional contract documents, kasama po ba ito sa isasabit namin or saan po ito papasok?
Sir, itong additional contract documents, ipoprovide po ito ng end user dito sa amin.
So hindi po sa amin yan, sir. Sa mga bidders.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about this in our submission of our bid.
Actually, sir, na-provided na nga po sir sa checklist kung ano lang mga ipro-provide ng bidders during opening of bids. Ito po sir yung Class A documents and then the financial components.
So ito po susundan namin lahat, sir, sa checklist of requirements.
Yes, sir. Yan lang po sir ang isasubmit natin na folders. All others, sir, kung hindi naman naka-include dito,
Okay.
hindi nyo kailangan i-submit during opening of bids.
See. Okay po, sir. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir. Any other concerns, issues? Meron pa po? No more? Okay, hearing none, Mr. Vice Chair. I think wala na pong queries yung mga proponents, sir.
Kaya, Mr. Secretary, do you still have other topics to discuss?
Mr. Vice Chair, we are through with our agenda, sir. We have no other matters for discussion. Except for your final guidance and instructions.
Okay, before we adjourn, good morning to everyone. Good morning to our members of the ISBAC, the Technical Working Group, especially to our proponents for joining us through BTC. So additional guidance po sa ating mga proponent. Sir, if you may request, sir, that during submission of your bidding documents, please, sir, kung pwede possible, lagyan po natin ng mga tabbings para po madali po ma-scrutinize po natin ng Technical Working Group to include ISBAC po. Second, sir, please be on time, sir. Submit your bidding documents on time. Kasi marami pong nangyayari before na late submission po nating mga bidding documents. Then again, sir, as discussed a while ago, please follow the checklist of requirements of the bidding documents. Importante, sir, yung signature initial of each page in the bidding documents po. Napaka-importante po yun. Marami po na nag-fill po doon. Then, don't forget, sir, yung mga signatures for the owner. Dapat po hindi makalimutan. Natandaan po palagi. Then, if you have some clarification regarding the bidding documents, sir, if the clarification is valid, bibigyan po namin valid, sir, we will issue a SPB, sir. As mentioned by our secretary, na on or before 6 March, dapat po masubmit po yung ating mga clarification. So with that, sir, thank you very much sa inyong lahat for joining us this pre-bid. Sir, we are hoping that in our actual bidding, sir, sana sir mag-join tayo lahat. Sila po. Thank you, sir, and good morning to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So before we adjourn, sir, may I request everyone for a photo ops po, sir. Okay, open na ng mga camera, sirs, ma'am. One, two. Isa pa po, sirs. One, two. Okay na po, sir. So again, sirs, ma'ams, reminder, our opening of bids will be on 16 March dito po sa PAF PC conference room or bidding room. Pa-anticipate na lang po yung yung traffic traffic talaga dito sa tapat ng gate ng Villamor. So please come in early. That would be all, sir. Mr. Vice Chair, I request for the motion for the adjournment, sir, for the members.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I move for the adjournment of the bid conference meeting.
I second the motion.
Any objection? Hearing none, the motion for adjournment of today's pre-bidding conference is hereby approved. Thank you and good morning to everyone.
Morning, Sir Pio.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. See you on
Yeah.
16 March, sir.
Face to face.
Morning, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Permission to leave, sir.
Sige, ako din.
Recording stopped.